to the British Motor Show coming to you this year from Earl's Court in London. Now, our show may not be as big as some other countries,
but it still packs an awful lot into a small space, and we're going to show you the very best of it.
Rover went all out at the show to launch their two new models, the 25 and 45, as replacements for their old 200 and 400 models. The 25 is aimed at the 25 to 34 age bracket, with 40% of the car redesigned to appeal to the younger market, including tuned suspension to give a sportier drive. The 25 will be available here in November, priced at around £8,000 for the entry-level 1.1 model. The new 45 won't be on sale until January 2000, but like the 25, shares the 75's twin headlights and grille and is being aimed at a market that's already hotly contested by Vauxhall's Astra and Ford's Focus. Rover as yet have not released official prices for the 45, but is rumoured to be at least £1,000 less than the current 400 model.
Rover is for the first time exhibiting the new Rover 25 and 45, and that will be now enable us to show a whole family, i.e. 25, 45 and 75, the new Rover generation. I think the London Motor Show is a typical show for the broad public, and we expect many potential customers to show their interest in our new products here, and therefore we feel it is very important that we have a successful launch of the Rover 25 and 45 here in London.
Mercedes-Benz have finally unveiled their flagship coupe. This is it, it's the CL500, and it boasts a new engine and enough technical wizardry to launch a space rocket. So what about the competition? Well, they should be getting a little bit worried, because the Merc is actually a far more affordable option. Well, kind of. As you'd expect from the three-pointed star, the CL is packed with technical innovations. You can open the boot, the sunroof and even the windows via remote control. There's loads of gorgeous leather in here and plenty of shiny wood. This is a car that makes the journey every bit as pleasurable as the arrival.
The London Motor Show is always a good place to find a celeb or two, and we managed to track down a few for you. Claudia Schiffer popped in at the request of Citroen to display her curves against those of the Zara. Girl band All Saints visited the Chrysler stand for a quick photo call and to pick up their new Jeep Grand Cherokees. Size obviously still matters at Renault, as Helen Mayer turned up to see how the new Clio measures up. Carol Smiley of Changing Rooms fame turned up to show us around the new Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin, along with F1 pundit Tony Jardine keeping the proceedings running.
Proving that you don't have to pay supercar prices for a bit of that sports car magic is this. It's the 7th generation Toyota Celica, and it can be yours for under £20,000. This is the all-new car in UK specification, and Ginny Buckley has been to Rome to report on how it drives.
There's an old phrase that goes, "All roads lead to Rome," which is perhaps why Toyota have chosen to launch the latest version of the Celica here. Coupes are one of the most stylish types of automotive fashion. Every girl should have one in her wardrobe. They offer a great blend of performance and good looks that guarantee them a place on the catwalk. But some models, like Toyota's Celica, are looking less chic designer label and more high street fashion in need of an update. Enter a swanky Californian design studio, some inspiration from American muscle cars, and hey presto, this season's model is on the catwalk. The Celica started life back in that decade that taste forgot, the 70s. Thankfully, it's moved with the times. This is the 7th generation, and it's the best looking version in years. The whole look is very American. The styling of the Celica Coupe is down to a technique called cab forward. Now, basically, this means that the character of the car takes its inspiration from the open-wheel race cars. The bold lines emphasise performance, the wheelbase is extended, with the overall length to create a wheel at each corner approach, similar to that of a real racer. It's also shorter than the previous models, which helps to enhance the sporting style. Inside, well, to be honest, it's a bit of a disappointment, really. It might be comfortable and it might have the levels of equipment that you expect of a car in this class, but stylish it certainly isn't. It's a kind of hodgepodge of angles and different shapes. There is far too much of John Major's favourite colour and a complete overload of plastic. And although there is enough room for me as the driver and for the front seat passenger, unless you're planning on carrying children in the back seats, you can forget it. If you're considering getting a Celica, you should have a good long think about exactly what you want it for. You can't really take all the kids and the pet dog camping in this. And even though it has a strong rally tradition, it isn't an out-and-out sports car. It's probably best described as a sports tourer. You're not going to get out-and-out white-knuckle ride excitement, but you'll strike a conservative balance between sports handling and a comfortable, smooth ride. This is the 1.8-litre 16-valve engine. Believe me, it doesn't feel like a 1.8. It has plenty of kick and a very smooth delivery. The 140 brake horsepower make this a much quicker car than the old model. You're not going to reach excessive speeds, but the engine really does feel very refined. The handling is agile and responsive, and because of the low stance, you feel extremely involved in the drive. The 6-speed gearbox is very snappy, and this adds to the appeal. This really is a very eager car. It seems to want to show you what it can do. The Celica is fantastic fun on open roads, but it's a bit too enthusiastic if you get stuck in traffic in the city, which happens an awful lot in Rome. Now, the Toyota may not have the flair of the Fiat Coupe or the out-and-out aggression of the Ford Cougar, but instead it offers a good value for money package that combines great looks with performance. And after all, that's just what you want in a coupe. You can get your hands on the 1.8 standard model for an on-the-road price of £19,255. That's cheaper than both the Cougar and the Fiat. The Toyota Celica is a stunning looking vehicle. It's full of distinctive, sharp angles with a very potent chassis. My only criticism is that in terms of performance, it is a slight underachiever. Still, you can take comfort in the fact that it looks the part. Darlings, in the world of fashion, that's what counts.
Things are definitely hotting up in the mini MPV sector, started just a couple of years or so ago by Renault with their Scenic based on the Megane. Well, their French competitors, Citroen, are in there. In fact, they claim to have been looking at designs and ideas for a mini MPV about 5 years ago, when they showed the Zana concept based on the Citroen Xantia. Ironically, for a mini MPV, it proved to be too big, so they had to wait until they had the Zara platform to base their car on, and they've done it with this, the Picasso. Now, as the competition hots up in a new sector, they're now saying that they're going to raise the stakes in the looks, and first and foremost they are pushing the look of this, its curvaceous egg shape. But then once we get inside, well, it's all about space. Because there's loads of it in here, and I mean loads, and that's what this class of car is all about, spaciousness. The kind of qualities, in fact, that, okay, perhaps are more appealing to your granny when she's buying a car than to you on paper. But just try living with it, because they are the kind of qualities that make your life easier. And I'm talking about things like the fact that it's easy to get into and to get out of, and that once you've got in, you can sit fairly high up and enjoy a commanding view of the road ahead. In fact, there's a good view all around. There's great visibility, which makes it feel spacious and airy, and it's uncluttered. If you've ever been in Citroen's full-size MPV, the Synergy, then you'll be familiar with this, having the gear lever set up on the dashboard, which kind of clears space down below. The only other quality that you need if you're going to be a mini MPV is that magical word, versatility. These 3 rear seats, each of them pretty much full width, can each be independently moved and adjusted and removed, so you can turn your Citroen Picasso into a van, should you so wish. This is in fact pretty much its UK launch. It'll be seen very shortly in this country. Price is probably about £1,000 premium over the Zara that it shares its platform with. And I certainly hope we get this lovely open ragtop, because that really does make it feel spacious.
Yes, I know it's very cute, but I don't do red. Boys. better, but it's far too bright. Oh yes, now this is much more like me. And you know, the funny thing is, it's the cheapest car in the range, and that almost never happens. It's just £6,400. Now if these dinky little cars are for you, but you fancy a right-hand drive instead, then the good news is that they'll be available from the start of 2001.
This is the Audi A2. It's a car we saw in concept form more or less like this about 2 years ago at the Frankfurt show, and this is how we're actually going to get it in production. And there's something I want to show you. I've just opened the bonnet. Well, when I say bonnet, I've thought this for a while. Who really wants to go under here? It's an oily and nasty business. This is all you really need, because from here we can fill the reservoir for our windscreen washer, we can dip our oil, should we feel so inclined, we can even fill up the oil if it needs doing so. This bit doesn't have to be opened, it's sealed. Every 20,000 miles or so, somebody who actually knows what they're really doing will go in there. They call it a service concept. But it's not just about the outside, as you'd expect with a car that looks this special here. Inside, it's a bit special as well. I'm getting into the passenger side for a change because we can have a good look around from this point, and it is typical in here of really any modern Audi. Beautiful, simple, clean, uncluttered lines. Great materials used, very high quality, and a very high quality of finish. Nice touches in here include these deeply cowled and hooded dials set back here on the dash, and also some nice bits of aluminium smattered about, which is all very comfortable and very smart. Audi said they've put a lot of work as well into making sure the driving position is as comfortable as possible. And there's still more. Because if nice touches like this full-length opening glass sunroof may look like something out of a concept car, they will make it into reality and into production. And as you look around the A2, it's funny, you find odd bits and pieces turning up in the strangest of places. Open up this lovely shaped boot and we've got a really big load space inside. Delve down beneath that and under this cover, we've got another load space. And beneath that, well, we've got the battery, amongst other bits and pieces. This car seems to go down deeper than the ground underneath it. If overall the concept of the A2 and the build quality put you in mind of perhaps the Mercedes A-Class, then you'd be thinking in the right direction when it comes to pricing when this car goes on sale in the UK autumn of next year. Keep watching, there's still loads more to see after the break.
Chrysler are a company that are guaranteed to turn concepts into production realities, and this is the latest show car to roll off the production lines. It's called the PT Cruiser, and whatever you may think about the way it looks, you've got to admit it's guaranteed to turn heads and is the kind of car that would cheer you up on a miserable winter's morning. This is Peter Rollins, Chrysler Jeep's PR director. Peter, PT Cruiser, it's an amazing looking vehicle. When are we going to see it on the roads over here?
Well, we'll see it in the UK in May of next year, so not too long to wait, just in time for the coming summer.
How much is it going to be?
It's going to be about, we believe, £14,000 and upwards, to probably a maximum of about 16,500, 17,000. So just a little bit above the current prices of the existing Neon range.
Who do you think is going to buy this car? Because it's different, isn't it?
It's very different, yes. Yeah, it's I'm not sure really. And that may sound a little bit sort of unsure for a company to say they're not sure about who's going to buy the car, but that's genuinely what we believe. You look at the car, it's very different, it's very unusual, it's a very wacky car, makes a great statement. And probably there'll be people out there who absolutely love it, some who don't like it, and that's fine by us. And it's just going to be all kinds of people.
Now, it is an unusual looking car, but what about in terms of what it offers the driver? Does it offer comfort? Does it offer performance?
Yes, yeah, there's a clue to that in the title PT, which stands for personal transportation. And really, inside it's very sensible. It's very flexible, you can have lots of space, you can fit 3 adults on the back seat, for example. And
should you want to, of course.
Well, of course, yeah. But it is very, very practical. That's the main thing about it inside. So you've got, you know it's a practical car, and then on the outside, it just goes completely crazy. And it's a very, very unusual, individual, different design, very wacky, very happy, and we think quite an optimistic look as well.
So what about engines? Will we see the new joint engine that Chrysler's developing with BMW in?
Yes, it will, yes. That's a 1.6 litre engine. It's going to be produced in Brazil as part of a joint venture between Chrysler and BMW, and yes, it will go in the car, not at launch, because we'll have a 2 litre engine at launch, the 4-cylinder engine that is currently available in the Neon, followed by a diesel engine, and then eventually the 1.6 engine. And that engine is related to the 1.4 litre engine that will ultimately be seen in this country in the new Mini.
Ah, wonderful. I imagine that this is a car that's going to be open to a bit of customising.
Definitely, yes, yeah. You look at the car, it has almost like a look of the old Ford Popular, the car they call the sit-up and beg car. And already we've had a lot of interest from would-be customisers and from fans of American cars who've come up to us and said, wow, I love this car, we're going to put some wide wheels on it, we're going to put even some fairy dice in it. And it's that sort of tongue-in-cheek car that you could get away with that. So there will be customising, definitely. There will be accessories galore, and it's going to be a real American graffiti car, I think, as well as a pretty sensible family car with a wacky exterior.
But not for the shy, retiring type.
Definitely not. No, you can see that looking at it. I wouldn't say that at all.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
The name's Bond, James Bond. The car, well, it's the Z8, of course. The new car of choice for Britain's most famous secret agent is no longer a secret, because we saw it in Frankfurt and now it's in London. The new supercar roadster not only boasts the awesome 5-litre V8 of the BMW M5 with its 400 brake horsepower, but thanks to the Vanos variable valve timing system, it also boasts instant response from any of its 6 gears. Moulded around all of that power is a highly curvaceous body, reminiscent of the 1950s BMW 507. The car will not, however, be just for the likes of Bond and Q, but mere mortals may even be able to experience it themselves. The Z8 will go on sale across Europe in the spring of 2000 in left-hand drive only, and a small number will also infiltrate the UK at an as-yet undisclosed price.
This has to be the ideal parking spot for a Nissan Skyline, a helicopter pad, because this is as near as you're going to get to being airborne on 4 wheels. The Skyline is an absolute flying machine. This car is a petrol head's dream. It's macho with a big capital M. Everywhere you look on it, it's got huge spoilers, side sills, the wheel arches are massive, but then a need to be. We're talking about 18-inch wheels here. It's got Brembo brakes on it. When you put the foot on those, it's like dropping an anchor. Everywhere it looks muscle. It looks as if it's powerful and dangerous. And then you finally come back to the old aeronautical touch. This huge rear spoiler that looks as if it could fit very happily onto the back of a Boeing 747. But actually it's rather practical, because this mechanism here helps keep the stability down and actually keep you back on the ground. Here we've got about 5 or 6 horses. Inside of here we've got 277 horses. Sadly, no car is perfect, and if this wonderful Nissan has one failing, it's the interior. It doesn't feel or look like a 54 grand car. A lot of it is standard stock. The only difference is this Nintendo-like machine with all of the information on the screen. That said, the seats are wonderfully comfortable. They're very good in the back as well, so you can actually put the fear of God up to 3 people in one go. But in many ways, I'd forgive Nissan anything for this car, and it's quite livable with, and it's very practical. Floor the accelerator in this machine and it's like lift off at Cape Canaveral. It's absolutely superb. Mind you, it's no bloody surprise really. 0 to 60 takes just 4.5 seconds. 0 to 100 will take you 10.5 if you really put your foot down. And that is just amazing performance. It's got more technology underneath here than you've got in your average computer center. There's multi-link suspension front and back. There's a computer-controlled 4-wheel drive system that controls the car so well that, to be honest, you're not quite sure whether the computer's driving the car or you're driving it. The great news is, though, you feel absolutely wonderful. Driving this, I feel as if I'm Michael Schumacher. Cornering is like going around on rails. But amazingly, you really have to concentrate. This is about as near as you can get to driving a rally car. The ride is rock hard. You feel every bump as you go along the road, but it just adds to the adrenaline rush. It is just such a buzz. This is untrue. I feel like some young kid again. It is just sensational. This is the fastest drive I've ever had in my life. Top speed's limited to 155 miles an hour, which is actually probably a good idea, because you can lose your license in this car very easily just going from 0 to 100. Whatever your favourite ride in a theme park has been, forget about it, because the Skyline gives you your very own everyday theme park. After a burst in this, you'll never ever want to go to Blackpool or Alton Towers again. Supercar jungle, there's an all-new king, and that's the Nissan GTR. Forget all about your Ferraris, your Porsches, they're as common as muck, and when it comes to sheer speed and brute force, this big baby will leave them standing.
If you lust after a rather sexy coupe, but practically you need something a little more sensible, then this could be the answer to your problems. It's Renault's Avantime, and it's one of those quirky, original cars that the French do so well. Yes, Renault's Grand Touring Coupe is what luxury motoring is all about. You get plenty of room so you can relax in comfort and admire the view from the panoramic glass roof and the frameless side windows. And the actual getting there should be a breeze with a powerful 3-litre 24-valve V6 and 6-speed manual gearbox. It should be on sale next autumn, priced between £25,000 and £35,000. A word of warning though, a car like this certainly isn't for the faint-hearted or those who don't like to stand out from the crowd. Well, that's all we've got time for, but next week we're devoting the whole of the programme to the great British manufacturer.
So the very best from the likes of TVR, Caterham, Marcos and of course Lotus, with a showstopper that'll outgun even their own Elise.
So make sure you join us next week.